911. Next generation 911 will define and continue to define the way that the 911 industry and emergency communications takes us forward into the future. So obviously, with the next generation 911, the way that we communicate has changed. PSAPs no longer take an emergency call from a 7-digit phone that's out at the wire line in all of our homes. We communicate mobily these days, not only with our cell phones, but social media, text messaging, all kinds of multiple formats and media to bring the calls into the PSAP, which is what we're calling the next generation. So, I'm not going to bore you with a long, drawn-out presentation. You've seen it before. But what is next generation 911 or next gen? Simply put, it's an internet protocol. We all know that everything is IP-based these days. Internet protocol-based system that allows digital information to flow seamlessly from the public through the 911 network onto the emergency responders. And what is this network called? It is called the Emergency Services IP Network, or the EZNet. So if you take anything away tonight, you now know what NextGen is, you know what EZNet is. Those are the key terms in Next Generation 911. And I can guarantee you, if you understand the definition of those two components, you are certainly an expert in NextGen 911. You don't need to go into the depth and all the details unless you want to, and I'd be glad to have a lengthy conversation about the network and all the small, minute details and components of the systems that make it work. Do it later, do it tomorrow, whenever you want to do it, but for the sake of everybody's sanity tonight, I won't torture you. So, with that said, Next Generation 911, the advent of the EZNet in the state of Illinois and nationwide, do you guys have options? There are some that would lead you to believe that you must go a certain direction with one particular manufacturer or one wide area network, and that's just simply not the case. The fact that the EZNet is an open standards platform, yes, you do have options. EZNet open standards platform allowing multiple vendors to connect, ultimately allowing you as the ETSB to pick the best solution for your own operation. Essentially, there's two types of technology, two different directions that you can go. Subscription-based, you'll also hear that referred to as CO-based, and there are some manufacturers that blur the line of calling that hosted. But ultimately, subscription-based, you buy a little bit of equipment to put into the PSAP, and then you pay monthly to use somebody else's back-end equipment. Or a CPE, customer premise equipment, where the ETSB owns and controls the equipment. I got a little bit ahead of myself, essentially explaining those two different types of systems. Subscription-based systems are typically less money up front, but the ongoing recurring monthly costs are negative in most people's opinions. And then also, as the ETSB, you folks have little control over it. Very similar to your situation today. If you're a CO-based system, when Frontier says we're pulling the plug, you really don't have much control over that. You got to do what they say. With the ETSB owned or the CPE, obviously you're buying more equipment up front, but you own it, you control it, you're in control of your own destiny. Our solution that we're presenting to you tonight is a CPE-based system, the Zetron Max Call Taking Suite. The ETSB owns the equipment. Zetron's Max solution delivers next generation 911 call taking in an affordable and secure fashion. Zetron is obviously certified and tested to work with all EZNet providers. Your GIS, your mapping providers, your CAD, your records, all of those things will connect in an open standard fashion with the Zetron Max call taking equipment. And then if you're talking, if you've heard anything in the trade magazines about FirstNet, there's some evolution of things. It'll probably be quite a while before it hits Cumberland County, but that's certainly on the radar into the future as well. The Zetron Max Intelligent User Experience streamlines and simplifies, and Donna will speak to this, you've seen the demo. It makes it very simple for the operator. It doesn't overcomplicate and confuse your operators. It's a very intuitive solution, allowing your PSAP obviously to be more effective. Cumberland County is already familiar with Zetron. You use it today. Your radio consoles, Zetron, and your neighbors are using Zetron call taking systems. As you can see, there's quite a few folks in downstate Illinois that just GTSI provides service for, as well as other Zetron resellers throughout the state. Cook County, which is the largest system in the state of Illinois, is Zetron Max CT based. And Zetron's been very successful in the statewide networks. Iowa, for example, is the most recently awarded system. So there's certainly a long list of references that you can call to get familiar with and become familiar and comfortable with the technology. Comes down to the old question about the financial situation, how much. You guys have got the numbers in front of you. I've got a summary on the screen where your total equipment, you have installation and staging labor. We've got some a price concession for 2018. You can roll in the training, freight, so on and so forth. Brings you in just pennies under $100,000. Anybody have any questions on that slide? Usually there's questions on that slide.
What's that is that total equipment for 2 stations? I mean,
Turnkey.
And then the monthly on top of that, or a yearly, monthly, whatever.
So there's maintenance, which is the next slide. But the network charges are provided by the state. So because you own the system, this is not a subscription-based system like some of the other folks that are proposed to you. There is no monthly charge to use their controller. It's not a CO-based or a subscription-based or a hosted-based. You own it. The only recurring charges are your maintenance, should you choose to pursue the maintenance agreement, and any telco-related charges that would be for the circuit delivery to the PSAP. But in most cases, and I can't see why you folks would be different from the norm, those are picked up by the state with the new statutes. Project timeline, approximately 8 weeks from award and agreement to bringing the system online, or from when Frontier gets the circuits brought to the PSAP to bringing the system online, depending upon which of those is latter.
How come the bid on our sheet here is more than what the board says?
That's what I was looking
What,
at.
what did you say?
I don't understand.
Let me go back, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go back to your screen. It says 99,000 here on the sheet, it says 153,000.
Look at the tab. Go back up, go back. That's
I think that 153 includes 5 years of maintenance.
yes, that's equipment installation.
Does that include the administrative phone system?
That does not, the administrative phone system is an option. It's not required. But it was one of the things that Donna had asked that we include the pricing in our proposal. But you should have that pricing in front of you
Yeah.
for the administrative, yeah.
Thank you.
How much more was that? I said, okay, 16,000.
And that's just a one-time,
That's correct.
there's no annual maintenance or,
You could put that under maintenance, but really, there's nothing, we could write you a maintenance agreement on that, but I would suggest that you do a time and material for that. I know that's a lot of information to toss out at you in a fairly rapid amount of time. Rick, did you get them?
You guys,
Written down?
no, I'm
Oh,
a
no.
photographic memory guy.
Okay, all right.
You guys offer minor and major outage
Correct. Correct.
maintenance. What's, are your Effingham techs certified in that, or is it?
All three of our locations have certified technicians. Your primary service point would be Effingham.
Right.
However, if Effingham were tied up with another call, we would bring a tech in from another location if the case should dictate that we do so.
Steve Carter's still employed with you?
He is.
Is he a certified
He is.
Utah tech?
He is certified.
Can we utilize him, or is it, does it have to go through?
Well,
He's out of Decatur, actually. He's working in Decatur now, isn't he?
you know, the nice thing about Steve is Steve will go anywhere that he's needed.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Steve is.
I just want to know that if we call in the middle of the night and we're down,
Yep.
you can call Green up and we can have a tech there in 7.5 minutes, depending on how he ties his shoes.
Well, or if he's at Michael's wrestling tournament. You know, if the guys are out on vacation or whatever, they deserve a break.
I understand that. I'm talking about.
But he's gonna be one of the first ones that's gonna roll, yeah. Steve's a tremendous resource and he lives right here in the county.
Who's that, Steve?
Steve Carter.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, he was on he was on a call, we had a power supply go out in PC. Was that New Year's Eve, I believe it was. So he's willing to put the van in the wind and go for the good of the cause.
Well, I last I knew, he was working out of the Decatur office.
Yeah, he's in Effingham a lot, he's in Decatur, he's
Well,
just,
that's what he said, but
yeah.
he gets a lot of his workload out of Decatur, and I was just thinking, now, do you guys have issues with, you know, pulling Decatur guy down, or but I don't know how your company structure works.
We don't. Now at any given time, tonight, right now, there's 3 technicians on call. There's 1 tech out of each shop that's on call. And then obviously if one tech's tied up and you had another call in that area, we'd float somebody in.
Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is if we've got a station up and going, that's kind of a minor service
That's exactly
emergency,
right.
but if we're down,
That's exactly right.
I don't really want to hear, well, the tech in Vandalia is the one on call, he'll be coming, you know?
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, and when you look at that, if you look at the document that we provide, we categorize, just as you had mentioned, major, minor, and normal business type repairs. So a major outage is anything that would cause you to have to go to your backup. If you've got a major outage that causes you to go to your backup, here we come, period, point blank. There's a lot of minor outages that we're gonna respond 24/7. Not all. If you have, by the nature of these systems, they're redundant. If you've got a workaround, and you've got a minor outage that happens at 9 o'clock PM on Christmas Eve, and it can wait till the first business day, you know, we're gonna float it. But, you know, it's reasonable, and our maintenance agreement, we have a service level agreement. We contractually obligate ourselves to satisfying your needs.
You said you were from Effingham?
I'm from Jacksonville.
Okay, and you're from Effingham? And there's a office in Effingham.
Correct.
I didn't see Effingham County as one of your,
That's correct.
okay, so they're not, Effingham's not with you at this time?
They are not.
Then my suggestion is if we go with you, that you move your whole operation down here to Cumberland County.
Something like a board of county board.
I'm sure Chopper could be talked into Montrose, but
No, Montrose is still in Effingham.
Yeah, but I
We
live
need to
in
come on the
Cumberland
other
County.
side of the,
He's on that side of.
He's a proud taxpayer.
okay,
I'm a
okay.
proud taxpayer, so.
Yeah, it'd be a nice business. I mean, you know, we got all kinds of stuff going on here.
actually, your president's from Dietrich, isn't he?
He is. He is. And I think he's in Florida right now, smarter than any of us.
It's not that much warmer down there. ain't it?
That's a good point, yeah.
California last month.
Yeah, some of us were. I had shorts and didn't wear them.
I don't wanna hear it.
I was in Las Vegas.
This is Steve Sherwood.
Do you guys have any more questions for these guys?
I no doubt you'll come up with questions, and we're, you know, email, phone call away.
Oh, doggone it.
So now with this bid, and I'm getting bids mixed up since I missed last month, so I'm not really,
California.
I was in California.
All right, I can give her a call back.
One of the bids had us purchase some extra equipment to be on hand in case we needed them.
Yeah,
I'll give you a number.
Motorola, okay. Go ahead. I would like, not doing too much with bidding and stuff in the past, but I would like to have, you know, apples to apples. I'd like to know what each is going to cost, basically, bidding on the same thing. I don't know if we put out the RFP that stated that we wanted this, and this, and that's fine. If you want to throw in whatever else for free, that's fantastic. But I like to know exactly where everyone is and what the actual bids are compared to Frontier or Barbeck or Verizon or whoever, AT&T or whoever else is bidding. That's just a personal bias I have, but it was something that whenever we put out RFPs, that's what we had to have to go along with the state mandates and to be legal, basically. And it didn't mean we had to take the low bid, because if we got some bad vibes or bad information on somebody, then you could take the next bid.
Spare equipment is, it's a dicey game for a smaller system. It's expensive. When, in some systems, you can have anywhere from 20 to 50% of the equipment budget sitting in spare equipment. Where in some or all cases, your maintenance agreement protects you. So I would agree with you, you would want to see that as an option to see if you would want to put that capital in that expense. Now, with our maintenance agreement, we provide the spare to get you back online. Now, it may not have you 100%, we may not put out spare equipment. Let's say, for example, if for whatever reason both positions went down, we would provide you with spare equipment to bring one position back up as contractually obligated. That second position is not required to make you compliant with the state, And so if we got it, we'll allow you to use it by all means. But we may have it in circulation somewhere else. But we keep a pretty deep inventory of spare parts to help our customers, because the majority of our customers are small systems where we can pool the resources of the counties listed. 2 or 3 spare positions will allow us to provide spares for all those positions that are out there. Spread that cost amongst everybody. Now, again, like you said, if you look at that line item and say, it's worth investing in the money, don't blame you.
Yeah, I just like to go apples and apples.
Sure.
Well, something like this, there's so many different types of components and stuff. It's like some cases like repairing apples and pears.
Yeah, that's
They both do the same thing, but in different ways, so it's awful hard. One,
It's not like you're bidding out a copy machine that
Yeah.
copies so many copies a minute.
that's the bad thing about something like this, is you can't hardly do that. Be nice if it was that simple.
Yeah, it would.
But
For my poor old brain.
No other questions for those guys?
I just wanna know when they're gonna move down here. Over here.
Ray, do you have anything you wanna?
I'm just here, like them. If you guys have any questions, obviously, if we can answer them tonight, that'd be great. If not, we can get you an email
And you're,
with Barbeck Communications.
you're Barbara,
Yeah,
okay.
so, and we're bidding the CallWorks solution, and just to the point, to apples, I mean, a lot of these systems are different, and that's kind of where they find their niche, and that's probably why it's harder to do.
Okay. That's okay, I have a cell phone through Barbara, so it's.
There you go. Yeah.
But Verizon's terrible.
Yeah, we got rid of that part of the business.
Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, let's move forward and see what else we got going on here. We got December 2017 minutes in front of you, and the motion to approve those. Motion by Shirley.
Yeah.
Second by Joe. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Last time you said it was so big, so I went a little small.
Might get it one page next time. Those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, the same. Motion carries.
When I read over this, it said there was a female that was going to be doing the work here. Why, I don't see any of you guys as females.
We got a girl's name.
I guess that must be why we said female on here.
Does that make a
California,
difference?
you know well.
Yeah, if I wasn't in California, I knew what's going on. You are so right.
I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous.
I think I did see one of the fires started
Oh, did you?
up on the mountain.
You did quit too big.
Motion to approve the bills for December 2017.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ron, second by Steve Layton. Roll call.
Scott,
Yes.
Steve Lee,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Shirley. Steve Sherwood,
Yes.
Joe.
And we have November's financial report for 2017. Need a motion to approve.
Is that this balance sheet?
Yep.
I have a question, and it's just kind of dumb one, I guess, I don't know. But right here on the very first of it, I see one that says revenue control and the other one that says expense control. How do I know what revenue control is and what expense control is? Have we spent the money? Have we brought the money in from somewhere? You know,
Those are questions for your treasurer, because she's the one that
This is certainly.
developed and sends out those
But did
forms.
this?
Yeah.
Well, then I will go down and ask treasurer, because, you know, it makes no sense to
It
me.
I'll
doesn't
tell
make
you what,
sense
when
to
they
me
first got
either,
that
but.
program,
Oh,
everything was in
crazy.
the negative.
Yeah.
I went and talked to Joelle about it, and I explained this to me.
They will be glad to explain that to you.
They would, yeah, no, I go in there and bug her all the time anyway, so I don't know. But that, you know, that just didn't make any sense. And I've played with these state funding things for quite a little bit. They're used to.
How many,
Second. I don't care.
Motion by Steve Sherwood, second by Ron.
Okay, hang on. Scott,
Yes.
Steve Layton,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Shirley? Yes. Shirley,
Yes.
Steve, Joe?
Yep.
And who's that?
In your packets, I sent you a copy of the 2018 meetings, I want to make sure everybody got those.
Yeah, I don't go partying on the 4th of July, so I don't think we need to move the meeting in July to the second Monday.
You weren't here for that meeting, so.
Too late, we already did it.
All
Yeah,
right.
he was in California.
I was in California. Boy, you're really rubbing that in, man.
The cyber printer, we have turned it off. So, that's, it just got to where it wasn't printed so we could read it, so. I did get a signed copy of the dispatch agreement from county board.
Did you get another printer, or when you gonna get her a printer, or?
That was for her office,
Oh, okay,
not the siren printer. Siren printer's not ours,
okay.
it's the county's.
But yes, I'm
Oh.
getting another printer tomorrow.
It is?
It is.
I vote no.
That's why we don't have it.
Okay.
New business, power phone digital EMV upgrade. The reason I didn't hear back from the guy I was talking to is he passed away suddenly. So-
Really?
Yeah, so,
Didn't have the all business number for that.
no, I didn't. So, I talked to somebody else, they gave me the same quote for the upgrade, it's a total responsibility package. It would be $15.98 for the 2 positions. The annual software maintenance is $159.80. And it comes to $15.98 plus then annually we pay $159. So, I asked her about, because he said if we get it like in January, it'd be cheaper. But if we wait until December, which they will abide or keep our contract till December on the one that we
Our
have
current
now.
one
Yeah.
will stay through December.
Yes, and she never gave me anything, so I'm assuming this is the price for the year. I mean, I don't think, my opinion is this is much cheaper right now.
Just set on it.
Because we just had it a year in September, so.
And if we're good through December of this year,
Yeah, I say so.
let's talk about it in November.
Yeah. So that's that. And I'm gonna get that in the
Mhm.
report. We've received, I have too many papers. $10,064.31, that's for an August payment. For the last 2 months, we have not got the payment for, or at least I have not heard from the treasurer's office that we've got a payment for the less than 100,000 population check. It's usually a little over 2,000, but we haven't got it for the last 2 months, so I'm gonna call in and find out why that is.
Ryder.
Huh?
Ryder.
I'm from Carmichael, so yes. And
You can jump to here.
global, I just want to remind you, the auto A button that we still need after the first year, okay? And I don't know whether anybody's seen where Browner signed for FirstNet and AT&T for the state of Illinois. It's not to say that 911 is not gonna go something different with their system, but I called about it. This is, FirstNet right now is mainly for the radio part of this. First responders, ambulance, fire, and stuff, so.
So what is it?
It's the FirstNet and AT&T to deliver a wireless broadband network to the state of Illinois. Governor signed it, but he's still,
Yeah, I know it is now, I think.
but right now, we still have. So.
In times of major casualty, say like a tornado hit Toledo, the cell system would immediately be taxed. FirstNet isolates emergency services that are on their system, so they have communications capable. And it's a full digital system of broadband network. I don't know if AT&T was the best choice, but that's where they went. But that's just my opinion.
The last thing I have is the dispatch incentive I had for the last 6 months into December. The dispatchers seem to really like it. I'm gonna take a little break, maybe try to come up with something else for them to kind of compete with, so. But they really seem to enjoy it and have fun with it, so. Anyway, that's what I have, and then
Okay, what's everyone's pleasure on this other, on looking at the NG 911 system equipment? Do you want to, do you have questions on what's presented with what Donna's put together? She's given you a 5-year price for each one of the companies, so you have something to compare against.
Is it appropriate to ask for executive session since it's not on the agenda?
No. We can table this and look at it in a meeting if you want to follow up and try to compare each one of them, or you want to go with what you see in front of you, but
I know it's kinda hard to do, but it'd be nice to have all board members here to make the final decision.
we tried that this month. We told everyone that we would be voting tonight.
I know Tony's very
He can't
unpredictable.
control his job.
Steve would say he would be here next time.
So, I mean, what everyone else wants to do.
Wasn't there one that said, I can't remember where it was, I read it, I think in this agenda, that, of course, it's past time now, but one of the vendors changed their bid only until December 15th or something.
We got pushed up. You guys were good for a couple months, so.
Okay, well, it said December 15th, so I was,
Yeah,
You got it.
Yeah.
maybe I should attend meetings or something.
Yeah, if you weren't in California, you didn't.
Would Barbeck, if we went with Barbeck, would Barbeck move down here? I mean,
As soon as I buy the company,
oh, now you're
I'm not the vice
you're-
president yet.
You're hedging like these guys are.
So we probably go through the rest of this month.
Let me ask this question. Was everybody here to listen to the other presentations?
Yeah.
other than me.
No. We had a special meeting, during the day, we were part of them, and we had a handful of us there.
The last meeting everyone was here, but Ron wasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What, the last meeting, Steve Ryan wasn't here.
Oh, Steve wasn't here either? Okay.
It's been hit and miss.
It's, you know, it's, if you were gonna vote on it tonight, I was going to abstain because I didn't hear the presentations from the last meeting.
There really wasn't a presentation at the last meeting, it was just questions and answers, right? And-
Cause the
Well,
others did,
digital-
the
digital
others
was on
did a
that.
demo.
Huh?
Digital put on demonstration last meeting, and they was screened
No,
up.
they were just here to talk. and
Okay,
Barback
okay.
was.
We
and
did the demos during the day.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at the demo during the day.
yeah, that's all we've
Yeah.
had other than tonight.
I have no problem tabling it to the next meeting if you guys are.
I'll make a motion to table for next meeting.
Motion and second to table it to the next meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay. I guess when you take your old red book home and you sit down and study it, if you have questions, get with Donna. See if she can answer some of those questions for you. If she doesn't, she can get a hold of any of the vendors and come up with the answers.
I'd like to
Something
make a
we don't know.
suggestion that if we put this again on the meeting for next month, that prior to vote, we move for executive session for discussion.
Can you do that?
I don't think you can.
I don't
We
think-
only
I
have-
don't think you can. That's
we have
not one
certain
of
things
the-
we can do.
That's not an exception,
That's
as far as
not-
I know.
That's not one of them that I can think of.
Personnel you can, but something like this.
And basically, you know, when I was going, that's what I said, when we opened bids, it was in open session, and we found out that these guys bid something, these guys bid something, these guys over here bid something, somebody else bid something. And if it was we would normally have to take the lowest bid unless we found, or we had worked with them before and there was some type of problem that had come up in working with them, so.
Well, there's a lot of reasons you don't have to take the lowest bid.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one example.
That's one example.
I feel confident we can justify going with any bid based on the variety of services that each individual company offers, you know, based on our needs. So I'm not so much worried about lowest bid, because it's all so individualized
Yeah,
that,
this is the lowest bid that anybody will be able to give us, yeah.
right, I mean, you can't really hold up Barbeck's bid versus GTSI's bid, because it's a totally different
Well, but the problem,
way to get to the end.
the thing that I was saying though is, and maybe it was in Digital or Barbeck or someone, I don't know, but, you know, we were having to buy the extra equipment. And if someone else bid without us having to buy extra
That's
equipment,
just an
then
option. That's
That was,
just-
yeah,
that's
that was an
just
option, that was not
I thought that was in the bid.
No, that's an
a,
option.
no, I included it in the price, but if you
Okay,
look
that's-
on it,
yeah,
it's
that's
an
just an
option.
Okay, you included it in the price, okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm getting mixed up. Sorry about that.
Eating that small from California.
Oh, man.
Motion.
Second.
Motion, second to adjourn. Those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye, whatever it is.
Motion carried.
I have a question for both of you, actually. Do both of you contract out your text services, text option services? Is it in-house?
In-skin. In-skin is the
terminology that we use.
Yeah, and it's in our package. I know InDigital talked about it last time that they had their own. Well, CallWorks has its own as well, and then they actually pay for your outbound text as well. So there wouldn't be that charge for texting out.